Hello, everybody. Welcome back to NRL Nostradamus. Today, we have a very special guest on board, Cody Ramsey. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Look, really exciting interview for us. Been sort of wanting to chat for a while too, mate. First of all, congratulations on your comeback to footy. It's a really inspirational story, particularly for myself, but for a lot of people on and off the field. So just want to commend you on where you're at right now.
Yeah, well done,
Thank
mate.
you. I appreciate it. Cheers.
All good. Now, we're going to get stuck straight into it, mate. Really tough question off the bat. What'd you have for brekkie?
I went out for a coffee with Mrs. Had eggs Benny. It was good.
Eggs Benny,
Yeah,
how good?
Eggs Benny. Is that
Yeah.
your go-to?
I don't know. There's a cafe up the road that has like this this good eggs Benny, so it's usually what I go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Safe option.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
That's
stuff.
it.
What about coffee-wise? What are you, double shot guy? You
Flat white.
flat white?
Flat white.
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
One a day?
Yeah, I've one, maybe two. Depends how training is. I'll have one and then do field, and then usually need to pick me up for gym, so I'll have another one then.
Do they give you any caffeine, like
Yeah.
mid-sessions
No,
as well?
if you ask for it, they'll give you pretty much anything, like caffeine tablets and that.
Yeah,
No, not
yeah.
like that, but I mean, like if you request something, they'll have it on the field for you. Usually it's like a bar, like this it's like a liquid bar that gives you a bit of energy. It's got a fair bit of carbohydrates in it that keep you going.
Yeah, a bit of electrolytes and stuff, bit of
Yeah.
sodium.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Now, you've got Macedonian and Indigenous background. Now, tell us about that. Where does that culture sort of come from?
Well, the Macedonian's fake.
It is.
Yeah,
It's fake.
It's not real.
No way.
It's not real. My stepdad is Macedonian, and
Yep.
when I made my debut, he was there and he was in the cameras with my mum, and then they were chatting and
they've
all
run
that.
with it. They've run with it.
Yeah. So that's everything. Ever since I debuted, everyone said I'm Macedonian. I actually spoke with the when the World Cup was going on, or I don't know what it was, and I was speaking to the Macedonian on Instagram, and like, oh, you come in for like a training session or whatnot, and I was like, yeah, I'll come. I'm keen to go with this, but I'm not actually Macedonian. And they're like, well, you can't really come now, can you? I'm like, oh. But I was keen to go play some footy. Yeah, no. Aboriginal.
So it's
yeah.
just Indigenous, yeah.
Yeah, Indigenous.
Yeah.
I don't know much. I haven't chased up heaps, and I probably should, but I haven't looked too far into it. I just know that I am.
Yeah.
Just from
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah, because you're born in, is it Molong? Is that how you say it?
Molong, yeah.
Molong,
Orange,
yeah.
yeah.
Because it's like kind of past Bathurst Orange on the way to Dubbo, isn't it?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and your junior rugby league was out there too. Like, what was it like growing up out there?
Yeah, it's good park. It's just when I moved, before I even come up here, I didn't even know shapes, numbers, and it was just like no position. You just chip and chase and go. Or like that's the footy you kind of play. You're playing on the park I played on. It is this just like hard as rock cricket pitch in the middle. So you steer clear of that. Footy's there. Most of the time, my local junior club I couldn't play for because we couldn't get enough numbers.
Yeah, okay.
So I played maybe 2 years there, and then it got split and the whole club got cancelled for years. And then pretty much when I moved up here, they started again, and I think they got they got a lot of juniors now, but I had to move into Orange, play for like the young Bloomfield and Orange Sims I played for too.
And was it always rugby league or was it other sports?
Well, before I played rugby, I used to like race motorbikes. Just when I was a kid, when I was young. I lived in Brizzy from when I was about 5 till 7.
Yep.
Come down here. I was racing up there and then moved down. Heaps of fishing and hunting.
Yep.
And then went into pretty much football. And then from then on, it was just footy 24/7.
Yeah. And what did you support the Broncos then growing up or?
Nah, Dragons my whole life. Ever since I was a kid, yeah. My dad's from up St Mary's and mum. That's where they met.
Yes.
So I got a few Panthers in the family, and my dad ever since I started watching football, Dad was a Dragons fan, so it just passed on to me, and then from then on, I went for the Dragons since I was a kid.
Few Panthers in the family, you said?
Yeah, my nan's Panthers.
Jeez, it must be pretty horrible the last 4 or 5 years. Putting
Pretty
up
much,
with them.
pretty much the whole one side of my family is full Panthers.
Oh no.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
that because of the Bathurst sort of connection out there?
Well, because one side's all from like Penrith
Born and
way.
bred Penrith.
Yeah. Well, St Mary's, my nan
Yeah.
and all my uncles and that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
right.
So the Dragons, let's step it up a little bit here. Where did that sort of opportunity come from? Like you've sort of out west and then all of a sudden you're at the Dragons.
Yeah, well, I was 16 playing for Manildra Rhinos, and I was playing under the 19s, and I was backing up and playing first grade.
Yep.
And
right.
so I'd play union on Saturdays, and Sunday I'd play 19s, back up and play first grade. And I remember we got to the grand final for 19s, and we won that, and it was semis for first grade, and I was playing with the SG Bore coach Paddy Gibson for St George, and I didn't know the whole year. And it got to like the last game, and he's like, "You want to come play? You want to come have a trial for SG Ball St George?" I'm like, "Why not?" And then I moved up. Pretty much went from there. I moved up here without a contract and played on the wing, and then moved into halves moved into 5'8" for SG and went from there. Yeah.
So you
right.
could be potentially the new Dragons 5'8", is what you're saying.
Nah, no way. Steer clear from that position.
What is your best and sort of favorite
Fullback.
position, fullback?
Yeah, fullback for sure.
Fullback.
It's where I feel most comfortable.
Yeah,
have you
nice.
always sort of been the high achiever in your age group? You sort of said you've been playing up most of your sort of senior career until you sort of got into the Dragons pathways.
Yeah.
Is
I
that
would,
yeah?
Yeah, well, when I in my that 19th year, I got Player of the Year and in the comp and whatnot. I think it was tries scored. And then when I moved up here, it was a different. Everyone was bigger and everyone was they played shape. Everyone played shape, so I kind of had to readjust how I played
Yeah.
because
That was the hardest part for you, like just
Yeah.
adjusting to actual tactics.
Yeah, well, we had tactics, but nothing compared to what was up here. And I mean, like lane to the strip and then playing and then roll, like go, like stuff like that. I never thought of it. It's just everything was off the cuff.
Yeah.
So that was probably the thing that I struggled with the most was just adjusting. And then once I figured that out, it kind of just kicked off for me.
Yeah. Now fast forward to 2020. You sort of play in the NRL nines.
Yep.
You guys get runner up in that tournament. You actually get named in the team of the tournament, and you're the top try scorer. What was that experience like, given it was your first sort of proper taste of elite level rugby league?
Yeah, no, that was sick. I played heaps of sevens and all that when I was growing up, so I felt really comfortable. I reckon. I don't even know. Sevens suits me to a T. Like it's fast. You got to be agile, and I guess it was just perfect. And he gave me the opportunity because I was fighting with Tyron Wishart and Luke Gale for like the development contract spot at the time. So it was one of us three that get it, and then I played that, and I got the opportunity to do that.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's so. Was there any other like obviously you mentioned Tyron Wishart? Is there anyone else who sort of challenged you to sort of take a spot, in that Dragons system?
I don't know. Not really. It kind of just always found I always was just getting a spot here and there. Obviously, you had to work hard. And then if an injury comes along, that's kind of when you get an opportunity.
Yeah, because the same year you actually debuted, round 18.
Yeah.
Is that like highlight of your career, or is there more to it? Obviously, you lost the game, but you literally scored on your first touch, and then scored another one in the first half.
I'd say the highlight of my career was a few weeks ago when I played coming back from this. That would probably be the adversity and how much it took to get back. But that's up there. That's number two for sure. But yeah, that was I still then I didn't even train wing or anything because it was the COVID period.
Yes,
And then
yes.
at the nines, I'd done a labral tear on my shoulder, so I wasn't even in training with the team. And then about 2 months before I did get my debut, I come in and trained whatnot. And Dino, I was just training hard, putting in effort and competing. And Dino gave me my debut.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Now, in terms of, I guess, that season itself, were you like obviously didn't make your debut to round 18?
Yeah.
Were you sort of just given that opportunity as a result of injuries, or had they sort of had you been pushing for a spot? Who missed out? Do you remember how that all sort of unfolded?
I think it was Mika that missed out, and Dino just, when I would train, I would just compete and effort, and I think that is the sole reason why I gave him my debut, is just how hard I used to compete and all the effort I put in, and I'd say I was fairly fit.
Yes, because
Yep.
it was what 896 days out.
Yep.
Of footy.
Yeah.
Insane.
Pretty incredible story. And we're going to dive into it pretty soon. Obviously, 2021, you play 18 games.
Yep.
Weirdly, one particular game that sort of stands out for me, opening minute, round 2021. Round 21. Your two front teeth. There they are.
Oh, look out.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
So, obviously, you haven't got that fixed. Oh,
Nah.
You're
Nah.
just going to leave that till post career.
Well, they told me after I done my teeth, I went straight from the field to surgery and got them.
Yeah, right.
Because they snapped in half and they were in the root of my mouth. That's
So
how
the nerve was exposed, or the
They-
root was exposed.
So
Yeah.
they were gone. And then when I
Yeah.
was doing it, they said, "Oh, you can get like veneers, or we can just give you dentures and you can pretty much go 2 weeks off and you go back into footy." I'm like, I don't really care if I have teeth or not. I just, the less you care, the better life is, I
That's
think.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
So I just said, yeah, just give me. I'll get it done at the end if I really want to, but it's a cool
Yeah.
party trick, to be
I'm
honest.
gonna assume
Yeah,
you didn't have a mouth guard on. Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't.
Do
So-
you wear a
yeah.
mouth guard now?
I do now. Yeah, I wear a champ now.
Is that because of losing
Yeah.
the teeth?
Yeah, I never wore one. I couldn't breathe. I just never felt comfortable. And
So
especially-
is that why a lot of players don't wear them? Because they can't feel like they can't breathe, do you think? Like,
Well, I don't know about forwards. If I was a forward, yeah, 100%.
you'd wear
I'd
it,
wear
yeah.
one all the time. But I played wing and fullback, and then I played centre that game against Raiders.
Yep.
So yeah, I was making a couple more tackles, and I was 30 seconds in. But I thought I talk so much that I'm always going like that.
okay, taking it
I was
out.
taking it in and out, and then sometimes I would bring I had the mouth guard, and then I had to be in my sock the whole game. Or I would bring it and just forget about it. And eventually after that, I won't go without one.
So just for the viewers, like out of the 17 that go on the field on the weekend, how many would actually wear a mouth guard?
I'd say most of them, yeah. I don't
Most of
know.
them now?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, right.
I would. The mouth guards that they make now are pretty good. Like the ones before were the ones you got from the chemist that I used to use.
Oh, you molded in.
Yeah, they're the ones that. So we've
Put
got
them in boiling water and stick them in your mouth. There you go.
we got like a champ mouth guard that come, and then they bring machines and they scan your whole mouth, and then they don't even mold. Like they must use a machine after they scan it, and it's perfect fit. So it's like you can't really go wrong with it.
I'm really surprised though the club and the NRL actually don't force you to wear a mouth guard.
They probably do. I'm not honestly sure.
Yeah, because I reckon I've seen more players like stop wearing it now, and I didn't know whether that was a result of high tackles or I'm just seeing them talk with it out. Or
Well, I guess it's personal preference. If you want to hurt your teeth, and it's up to you. They can't really. It's like a headgear, nonetheless.
Yeah, well, that's right. When you've lost your two front teeth, mate, I think you're going to wear a mouth guard from now on.
Well, you'd think probably now's the time not to wear one.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now, 2022, Cody, you played 15 games, score 6 tries that year, and then obviously the Collider situation comes into play.
Mhm.
Talk us through that. Like, how did you find out? Did you always have sort of issues growing up? Like, what was the situation?
Yeah, not one. I never had a sign.
Mhm.
I had no like underlying issues, or drove up to Cairns with my partner to go visit my brother. He lives up there, done hunting, fishing, come home. And then it's about 10 days before we start the preseason. And I was passing a little bit of blood, and I was like, oh, I'll just go spoke to the doc, and then stool sample. And it was like, so everything seemed fine. So I just kept carrying on. And then it went to day 1 of preseason, and we were doing laps of the oval, and I was just running, but like I was just getting sharp pains in my gut. And I couldn't, like, I pride myself as one of the, like, I'm not a heavy tackler. I'm like fit. That was what I used to be good at. And I was at the back, and like, everyone knew that something was going wrong. So I just like went and done weights, and then the next day I was same thing. I was off, went into pretty much got a scope colonoscopy, and they said
Yep.
you've got ulcerative colitis, and it's like 90% chance. Like ulcerative colitis is curable. It happens to 1 in 100 people, and
Yep.
they used to take it's called a prednisone steroid that calms it down because you have inflammation. It's just ulcers in the bowel, and there's like you'll give you these tablets and you stay home for a few days, and if it doesn't start to work in 3 to 4 days, you'll come in and go again. And that every time I was taking the tablet, it was like it was making me worse. So I was just going downhill with more pain, and it come to the point where I was just like laying on the ground of a hospital for like I was like I'm pretty much gone, and then checked me in, and they said, yeah, we've got this. It's you've got it bad, like really bad, and there's this infusion. It's like a drip infusion, and it's called infliximab, and it's but I reckon about 20 grand a pop, and you have them you can have them every 2 weeks, and I had one, nothing, and then about a week later I had another one. Eventually I was up to my third one, and it went from like a 90% chance that I'll like be cured down to like the opposite. It was like 10 and 90, and I'm like, oh. And then he sat me down, and he's like, well, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have to get a stoma. We're going to take your large bowel out. And like, you're going to have to give up footy. Like, that's when he sat in the bed and like, he said, you could give up footy. And I just kind of like giggled a little bit and said to dad, I was obviously, I had ketamine in my leg, and I had the oxy button at the same time so I was on cloud nine the whole time I was in hospital for that period. And then I pretty much was like one night I was in so much pain, they went me down, and it was the day after, like, we're going to give you surgery. Pretty much now, that night I had surgery, and I just woke up with a massive hole, like staples, probably had like 30 staples on my stomach, holding it together. And then I had a stoma on the next to the scar. And then that was life for recovery in hospital was 2 to 3 weeks, and they pretty much get you up straight away. Get you up straight away. 2 weeks. I had COVID as soon as I woke up from hospital. So I was in so that was when they were hazmat suits in your room. Like
unbelievable.
Mum and that couldn't really visit, so I was in a single room, and they would come in with hazmat suits, bring you food, come back out, and check your obs. This hazmat, it was crazy.
That's insane.
Let me out, and then probably 3 days from being in home, it was about coming to Christmas time, and I woke up and I looked down, and the staples broke in my stomach, so it was just this hole, like this massive hole in my stomach, and they couldn't re-staple it because it was healed so far up. So for like 6 months, I just had an open wound on my stomach after surgery.
You're kidding?
Nah, I had it for so long.
So what? You just had to wait to naturally.
Yeah. So now I just got this like circle scar in the middle of my stomach, from where it happened. Right. And they just said they can't do much about it. Pulled the staples out, and I was changing like the bag or the stoma, and I was changing the wound at the same time. So it was pretty gnarly for a while.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And because you went into hospital like 90 kilos.
Yep.
And in the space of like 6 to 8 weeks, you lost 28 kilos. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I was 60, 62, so 28, yeah.
So was that just because you just didn't want to eat, or because it was just creating too much sort of pain?
Well, because it's a bowel condition.
Yep.
So they took out like I couldn't physically eat. They had a drip on me. I was nil by mouth for a long time.
Oh, okay.
And then because even if I didn't eat for 1 day, I'd lose 2 kilos with how my body is, like how I was.
Yeah, right.
Because I run.
Yeah, because you were doing weights and.
Yeah, like I would not, if I didn't eat normally, I'll lose this much weight. So not eating for weeks at a time was like obviously detrimental, and I just kind of faded away.
Yep. And you said like the doctor was sitting on your hospital bed and you're on cloud nine, obviously. Sort of laughing at him when he said you'll never play footy again.
Yeah.
Were you deep down in the back of your mind now, subconsciously confident that you would come back and play, despite majority of the people, even health experts, saying you wouldn't?
Yeah, well, I told everyone that I was going to play. Like, I didn't really tell many people that they told me I was never going to play until I guess a few months ago. Like,
What was
I
their
just
what was the reasoning apart from the actual, I guess, complications or now way of life post?
well, I think it's the what like all the surgeries I've had on my gut, like the scars. I had 6 or 7 major ones. So
Whether it can hold up
yeah, like whether it
physical
can.
contact.
Yeah, yeah. And it
Mm.
wasn't until I actually seen a surgeon by the name of Professor Hong, and he's
Mm.
up at the Lifehouse in Chris O'Brien that was doing the reversal. So the connects my pretty much makes a man-made bow. It's with my small bow. He cuts it to make my large, to turn it into my large.
Yeah,
So
right.
Yeah.
that's how they do it. And it's like one surgery where he goes into my gut and then he'll make it and then he lets my stomach rest and then he cuts me back open and then connects it. And then it's like you go from there. And that's when he said, take it easy on the Tigers when you get back. And he was the one doing the reversal. So like
Yeah, right.
I already knew I was gonna like try my
The
hardest to
stoma
come
anyway.
back. And then when he said take it easy on the Tigers, from then on it was like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, right. So from when you were told that you couldn't play,
Yeah.
when did you start get inkling? Obviously, you believed yourself that you were going to play again, but
Yeah.
when did they sort of the health experts and that when did they sort of led on to you that you might actually be able to sort of get back and actually play again? So how long was
Well,
that from that sort of period?
Well, that was so that there were two different doctors, all right? So
Yep.
the first pretty much doctors in that hospital, I guess, would said that that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I spoke to the professor, he said like, he knows people that run ultra marathons with your condition, and the person that actually taught him how to do these surgeries in Canada was just like a crazy man, and not crazy, but like really fit, and
Yep.
so he believed that I would be able to do it,
Okay.
and then obviously I'm going to trust the person that's cutting me open and doing all this
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, they from about 6 months apart that I
Yeah.
knew.
So
And they
when
gave you
you
that
got that, well,
confidence.
when you got that confidence, as Diz just said, did that sort of spur you on even more?
Yeah, it did, but like I don't even. But when he told me that he was going to do the reversal or not, probably the worst started then with
Okay, right.
because when he gave me the reversal, I woke up and he's just connected my new bowel and everything should be fine. And then I woke up and out of the old scar on my stoma, there was like feces coming out of. So everything was connected up and it was supposed to be all good. And then that obviously means I got a leak in my bowel. So if that got my bloodstream, then it's sepsis. And I
Oh,
had that and they couldn't reoperate. Um, they couldn't reoperate because of all the scar tissue from all the surgeries I've had in my stomach. So they couldn't
Mm.
actually see anything when they got in there, or it was going to be really hard. So I had it's called a fistula, and it's where it's a leak in your bowel. So when they reversed me, I was going to the toilet maybe like 30, 40 times a day. And then
Wow.
I had stuff coming out of my old stoma where the fistula. So I was like, I was losing so much fluid that most of the time I couldn't be at home.
Yeah.
Because I would like my Talia. There's one time I was at my old house and I was losing so much fluid and water that when I would drink it, it'd just go straight out.
oh,
And I was like losing consciousness and like I was just so like, you lose 28 kilos and then you're dealing with this. You're like, you can't do anything about it.
Mm.
So then I was checking in the hospital just on the drip 24/7, and then I couldn't eat because I was just like I was just so messed up. And then that's when they put a TPN through my arm into my heart that fed me 1,000 calories a day. And they had I had like iron infusions, and then I just had drips, and then nil by mouth was just because I just couldn't eat anything. And I had the thing that went down your mouth and your throat because I kept on spewing up bile.
oh.
So they had to keep the bile down so it didn't fill up my lungs.
Mate, honestly, this is like next level what you've been through. Seriously, like
Yeah.
it's a massive effort to get back and play. Like,
No, what?
can you talk to us about the journey from clearance to
Yeah.
train?
Yep.
and then building the body back up to a point that you're at now. Like, what was that? What's that journey been like?
Yeah, well, so I didn't start training until January, maybe the 4th last
Mm-hmm.
year.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was when I was 63, 64 kilos. And when I mean training, I would go in once a week and I would lift some weights, hold on to the bar because I was going to like faint.
Yeah, right.
Um, like, because I just had no energy and it was all getting used to it again. And I just had my daughter 2 days earlier. So from then, when I had that, it just kicked off. I went from going 1 day to like 2 days a week and it would be an hour a day. And
Yep.
then it would go to longer and longer. And then maybe 3/4 away through the year, I started training with the team.
Yep.
Just like when I mean train with the team, no contact. It was just I was cruising around the field. And that's when that video come around. And I was back, and I was probably 68 kilos by then, and I was just jogging around. I wasn't doing bugger all.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the back end, I was doing contact, and I
Mm.
was just training on the B team against the NRL here and there. Obviously, I couldn't always jump in because the cup also needed their side to
Yep.
face them.
Yep.
Yep.
So I was doing that, and then on the Saturdays, I'd run a bit more, just do extras with the one trainer like Ryan Bailey. He'd done heaps with me. He would train me 24/7. I started feeling better, and then that was when we like spoke up, and we're like, we'd do this preseason, 100 balls to the wall, like you're all good to go, full contact, full everything, and then it kicked off from there. I had heaps of hiccups, not heaps of hiccups over the preseason, but I had a few where like once I was back in hospital, and it wasn't because of my condition, it was just because I had like just some like things that were going on. I got crook a few times,
Yep.
and then come good January, and then I was solid all the way through. And that's the only the illness I was worrying about. Like I still had not niggling injuries, but you're playing preseason, you're gonna be sore the whole time. So I was like trying to put on weight, and I was running it way lighter than what I should have been.
Okay.
And then I got to 80 kilos January. They're like, if you want to, Flano said to me I think when my first game was about a month and a half ago, he's like, you want to, if you're right, you can have a crack like in the game this weekend for the reserve grade or trial. And I'm like, fuck, no way. And I was so pumped. And then, kind of kicked off from there. Played 30, then played 55, and then played 80 against Bulldogs and played 80 on the weekend.
The first time you either tackled or got tackled in preseason after you were cleared to come back and sort of train it? How was that? Was that all right? Like mentally, was that okay? Were you sort of going into that a little worried about how you'd feel afterwards? Like how was that?
So I was doing contact at the back end of the season before like I started the preseason. So we knew we were right for contact then, but
Yep.
I was training a little bit, doing some contact, and then they put me in like a bib, and what I was doing, you just run a pad and you tackle them onto a mat.
Onto a mat. Yep.
And I said to like Maxi Fee guy at the time, I was like, in a yellow bib, and I said like, I want to get pumped, like I want you to snap me in half because I just want it for my mental. Otherwise,
Yeah. Absolutely.
you sit there and you don't know. Like I like think to myself, this is either gonna fucking break me in half or hurt me, or I'm gonna be
Or I'm gonna be
completely
sweet.
fine.
Yep.
And I just like I hammered it, all 70 kilos of me, and he just snapped me like a twig on the mat. And I got up, and I was like, everyone was like looking a little bit, but I knew then that like
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
I'm good to go. And then you just kind of build off that confidence, and then it snowballs. And that's kind of how it went for me. It just kept snowballing the confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate. Honestly.
Let's talk about the Dragons. They obviously put a lot of faith in you.
Yeah.
And have been really supportive throughout this entire situation. Like, who's been the biggest influence? Because Anthony Griffin was the coach at the time when all this sort of went down. Obviously, he would have been a massive factor in this and Flano taking over. Talk us through the club and how, I guess, influential they've been on getting you to where you are now.
Yeah, well, I still talk to Hook like to this day. And then the whole time through hospital, he would come and visit me. Like the Benny Aran would come and visit me, or everyone, all the messages, Blocker and Zach and Birdie, they would all come visit me. But I never once had to like there was something that needed to be done, they would do it straight away. Like I couldn't have had more support from the Dragons. And then obviously I knew Flano before because he was coming in when Hook was coach too. He was doing stuff with us. So I had a relationship with Flano. Dino gave him my debut. So when it kind of transitioned, I already knew him, and he just said that we got your back no matter what. Like because like if I probably wouldn't be where I am, or I definitely wouldn't be where I am, like if I didn't have the facilities or the people to help me get through it at the club, to get through all the hiccups. Because for 12 months straight, it was 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. And that's pretty much my whole journey the whole way. So everyone at the Dragons, like he's pretty much said that if someone's going to do it, it's going to be you. And then once I know that they believe in me, it's just doing it myself. Like everything's up to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate.
That's unbelievable, really. Let's go to that moment against the Roosters. 896 days out of the game. Talk us through the emotions.
Nerves?
What was that like?
No, surprisingly, I had no nerves. On game day when I used to play NRL, I couldn't really, I never used to eat, and if I did, I'd throw my food up, and I used to get really, I wouldn't really be able to talk to people. Like my missus, I couldn't talk to her. So she was like, worried that I would be like that, and I said, it just feels different this time. I says, for so long that I wasn't allowed, I could not play, and then now I get the opportunity to play. Like, how can I not be happy, or how can I not be this joyful person? Because like this is what I've been working towards for so long. And then on the day, I was how I said I was going to be. I was happy. I was talking to my missus. I was playing with my girls. Go up to the game.
You ate food?
Yeah, I ate food. I ate food. I didn't throw it up. I wasn't nervous. I just was excited.
Yeah,
nice.
And then I wasn't playing till the 3rd quarter. So I warmed up, and then I sat on the bench and watched. And then I was just yelling at the boys, like telling them what I saw at the time, just trying to get my footy brain going.
Yeah.
And then went halftime, warmed up again, waited, and then I played the 3rd quarter. And then when I ran out, I was just stoked. Kicked off, nearly kicked the ball out in the full. And I was like, that can't be how I started. And then when I've been training against the boys, so I've been getting tackled hard. They don't take it. It's not like they take it easy on anyone.
Yeah.
And I just caught a bomb, and then got tackled, and then it was just from then on. It was
just playing footy.
I was just playing footy.
Yep.
It was just like my footy brain was back on, and I was talking. Obviously, I was blown. I trained so much, and you can't really prepare. You just have to play footy to get footy fit. It's insane. And it was when I walked off the field and seeing my girls, seeing my missus, like my whole family, all my mates. It was like, this is like such a special moment. And and that's pretty much. I was just I cried for a while. And
Absolutely,
everyone cried.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Amazing. And how's the body now?
Body's good. Yeah. 80 minutes cooked me last week. I felt a lot. It was like 32 degrees. You got
player of the match the week before too, right?
Against Bulldogs, I did. Yep. And then on the weekend it was like 32 degrees, and I worry sometimes. I don't worry, but people worry about the heat and how my body will react.
Oh, okay.
And because my body doesn't, with the large bowel, it absorbs salt. It like produces the salt and absorbs the water and whatnot. My body doesn't absorb anything now, so all my intake is like sodium, has to be sodium hydration. So I played the 80 minutes on 32 degrees on Saturday at 12:40. So I got through that and I feel fine. So I will not play a hotter day than that. So I'm confident that I'm fine.
So with that, I'm assuming you're working like really closely with the dietitian and the club, and like specifically what you need to get in the body, and then I'm assuming you weigh yourself after the game like most players would do, and all that type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at the start, my small bowel never had food go through it. Okay. So every food I ate would just give me diarrhea pretty much for all day. And then you had to like train your stomach by eating the same foods to understand like this is the right food to eat. Yep. And then my small bowel expanded, held more food, water. And and all that, like I had to pretty much reintroduce every food I've ever eaten back into my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it was like, it's not really a dietitian that can help you, which Nicola, the dietitian at Dragon, she's helped me immensely. But
Yep.
I had to do it myself, find out myself by.
Yeah.
So like, I'm at the point now that if I can taste the spice of a food on my tongue that I know will like mess my gut up if I eat any more of it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
like, no spicy food. Like I
Yeah,
can.
you're so in tune with your body.
Yeah, like I just know on game day training sessions, I know that what I can eat to get through that session. And then obviously after the game, I fuel up because it doesn't matter how many times I go to the toilet. Like I just eat and drink, like it doesn't matter.
Yep.
But to prepare that, whatever the sequence is on that day, it has to be what I'm used to.
And is there anything ongoing, like any sort of ongoing medical checks or anything like that you have to sort of have? And
I'll get a colonoscopy once a year.
okay.
Just I think yeah, like you can still get like the cancer from what's happened and whatnot. But the disease I had is only a large bowel disease, and part of my large bowel is the stump that connects the bottom. So that's the only part that can get inflamed.
Mm-hmm.
And I just do a suppository twice a day, morning and night, to reduce inflammation, and that's it.
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, that's awesome, mate.
Brilliant. Now let's make it a little bit more lighthearted, because it is really, really positive where you're at, where you're headed. Pre-game rituals on game day, superstitions. Do you have any yourself? Or do you know about any other players? You want to throw any players under the bus here? Because we've heard some cool stories.
I reckon he's got a couple.
No, like obviously a few of the boys, there's a lot of people that go to church and they do like this, their sort of rituals. I've never had a ritual or a superstition, really, that I think.
No right sock before left sock?
Nah. But I remember playing with Georgie Burgess, and I remember one day I come into the game and I come into the sheds to like start getting dressed or whatnot, and he's got like his jersey on already, and then I look back over and he's got it off. And then he has it back on, and I reckon it was like repeating a few times. And I'm like, far out. He just kept taking his jersey on and off. I don't know if it's a superstition, but
and they're not easy to get on and off.
No, they're
not on him anyway.
They're not. But I don't. On game day, it's hard to take notice of people because you're so kind of focused. Like I got to put the headphones on and the music, and you're just stretching. But I'd say there'd be a few weird ones out there.
Absolutely.
Do you have a particular song? Like no particular
playlist?
Song?
Maybe a playlist.
Nah, no playlist. Ram Jam, Black Betty.
Yeah.
I used to listen to that with my dad on every game we used to go to.
Yep.
Yeah. That's probably my superstition, or it comes with me every time.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Now, to finish off, Cody, we're going to do a bit of a mini quiz. So basically, we're going to ask you questions that we think you should know, but you may not know.
Yeah.
You could be in trouble. It's a good laugh, depending on how well you know yourself, or I haven't thrown in too many questions about the club or whatever. They're mainly about yourself. So
that's not.
Now your debut in 2020.
Yeah.
Do you remember who it was against and what the score was?
Raiders. We got pumped. I think I was the only two.
It was a weird scoreline.
Was it like I'm gonna say like 32-10.
Ooh, close. 37-8.
37-8.
Yeah, they've kicked a field goal at the end.
Somewhere.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. 37-8.
I knew I was the only one that scored that day, though.
Obviously, whoever's kicking goals needs a good look at themselves in the mirror because they missed both the conversions.
It was exactly Lomax.
Was it?
That's the goal. He was my centre. Remember when I got the intercept for the third try? He was offside at marker. That's why the try got disallowed.
Oh no. Hat trick on debut, gone begging.
Taking shortcuts.
Do you give it to him like all the time about that?
Nah, he's actually one of my really good mates. Him and Blocker are one of my best mates. So we give each other a lot of shit, but I'm gonna bring that one up next time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, how many NRL games have you played so far?
34.
Oh, 36. 36.
I was gonna say 36.
What about tries?
8.
Nah,
sold yourself short.
Well short. Jeez. 14.
I suck at this. I should know this because in hospital. I watched so many of my games over and over again.
And you googled
Yeah.
yourself, didn't you?
I have before, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, I haven't.
You'll know this one. I think you'll know the next two, but we'll see. We'll see. The NRL Nines comp
Yep.
that you were the top try scorer in, and you made the team of the tournament.
Yep.
How many tries did you score?
3.
4. None from 4. He's on fire. He's on fire. All right, this one's kind of funny, but I don't know what it's
Okay.
for. I'm going to ask you. So, you've been sin binned once.
Yeah.
What for?
Professional foul. It's against the Tigers.
Yes.
What'd you do? Offside or holding him down or something?
Nah, I tackled someone without a ball. Apparently, that was fairly
Hard
certain.
done by?
Yeah, I
Hard
was
done
hard. No, it wasn't me. That was that tackled the person.
Oh, so you got sent off on accident?
Yeah. No, I got sent off, but I shouldn't have been sent off because once I looked at it, I was like, it was very strange. I think the ball went behind me and they were chasing, and I was chasing to get the ball, and I must it was
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find that.
Yeah, I do remember that though.
Now, the key question is here. You played the Tigers. You got that part right.
Yeah.
But do you remember if you won that game or not? And do you remember the score?
We did win that game by 2 points, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was
Is
it wasn't a high scoring game.
Both in their 20s. We'll give
Oh,
you
really?
Yeah.
20s. Yeah.
I'm gonna say 26 to 24.
Oh, 24,
I
22.
tell you, you've been close, mate. You've honestly been close with all these.
Oh, I haven't got a single one right though. So.
That's all right. Now, before we wrap up, mate, what's next for Cody? Obviously, you've only just turned 25. Happy birthday for a month ago, pretty much.
Thank
Bang
you.
on.
Cheers.
You've got a whole life and career ahead of you. What are the goals for the next year, personally, professionally?
Put on some weight. I'm 80 kilos. I still like to get a few more kilos on.
Oh, you bang on 80 now.
Yeah. Bang
Yep.
on 80 now.
What do you think your ideal playing weight would be?
I'd like to get to 85.
Okay.
And then you feel like I'm still fairly light here and running into contact. I'm decent at now, but there's a lot of times where if I don't make the right decision, I'll get picked up and I'll get dragged out.
Okay.
Yep.
And consistent footy, like that's what I'm mate. Like I want to play a full season.
Yep.
I've only played 2 games and 2 trials, so if I can keep playing week in, week out, then
that's a win.
Something good will come. That's how I think about it.
Yep. And you got a little girl now?
I got 2. Ella,
2 girls.
6 weeks old, and Mia is 14 months.
Unreal.
2 under 2. Yeah.
Awesome. Good luck.
Nah,
Good
no
stuff.
worries.
Thanks for being an awesome sport, mate.
That's all right.
It was a great interview. Really appreciate you coming on and taking the time.
No worries.
Wishing you all the best for your future and career ahead.
No, thanks.
Hope you have an awesome season. And once again, you've been an inspiration to not only myself, but Dicko and all the listeners that will hear this.
No, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Thanks, mate. Have a good one.
See you, lads.